All right, good evening, everybody. The January 9th, 2024 Hibbing Public Commission meeting is called to order. All commissioners are present with the exception of Commissioner Bayless. Do you have any adds or deletes? Not. We're going to move on to the regular session. The first item will be the consent agenda. And item 1A will be ratify funding for HSA and HRA funding for the 2024 benefits. Peterson?
As consent agenda, we can discuss it if you'd like to pull it or just move on through. So.
Okay, all right. So just get a motion on it? And
Yeah,
move forward? Okay.
motion on consent, but I believe per protocol you would read.
You have items 1A and 1B, Chair, if you want to take them both under a consent agenda like you normally would.
Oh,
If you-
okay.
if
I'm
anyone
sorry,
wants
yeah,
to
I was,
pull on those
all right.
items, that's up to them.
Yeah, I'm sorry. 1A, ratify funding for HSA and HRA funding for the 2024 benefits. Item 1B, ratify general manager employment contract. The wish of the commission.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to pull 1B for discussion.
Okay. A motion to approve 1A?
So moved.
And a second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Stokes, support by Commissioner Sandsted to approve consent agenda item 1A. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Mr. Stokes, item 1B.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. The only thing I'd like to say is a nice job on the contract and stuff, but I think in the future, when we have something like this, I think we should have a commission meeting and all of us be able to review it together instead of individually doing the contracts like this. So that's the only thing I'd like to say. I'd like to have some input in it. I would have loved to have some input on this also, so in the future, if we can move forward and do that instead of...
And I appreciate that, Mr. Stokes, and I tried to do that at the last meeting, but there's only certain things we can do, at a closed session or, Mr. Borland?
So Chair and Commissioner Stokes, so if you wanted to do that in the future and have the commission meet with, for instance, the general manager, that would be an open meeting to discuss those items and work them out, which you could certainly do, you could start with a draft of this agreement, so to speak, and go through and say, could we be tweaking this? What about this type thing? As compared to an evaluation where you do have the right to go into a closed session to discuss, did the general manager meet the criteria that you were set forth? Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I just thank you for your participation in this. I appreciate it. And I just think that it'd be more important, or it's important to me to have some input on it as a commissioner. Thank you. That's it. That's all I had. I make a motion to approve it.
I have just one more question. So, with all the raises we've been doing those last few, is this the last one then for this managerial team till next year?
We have a number of folks that'll be coming up that we're completing reviews on right now. So with all in all, we have 3 more to do before then, so we'll be in sync.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chair? Mrs. Sandsted. On the same note, do you have an idea when those evaluations would be completed or when those potential raises would be coming before the commission?
We're expecting this month, so 2 of them are
January.
complete already. We have 1 more to do.
Got it. Thank you. Thanks.
We have a motion to approve the contract?
I made the motion. Yeah, there's no
I'll
second.
support that, Mr. Stokes. We have a motion of Commissioner Stokes, support by Chairman Hart to approve the employment contract with Mr. Peterson. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item number 2, under financials and risk management. Item 2A, review the November financials.
Thank you, Chair Hart. Commissioners, in the packet are the financials for the 11 months ended November 30th, 2023. And as you can see from the write-up, we have an operating loss of about $640,000, non-operating income about $1.3 million, which nets together for a total profit of about $899,000. And this is for the 11 months of 2023. And if I could just kind of put this in historical context by looking at the graph here, charted out from 2019 through current is our historical operating losses, which averaged between $2 and $3 million up until 2022 last year. And, you know, as we look at ways of moving the utility forward, it's important to show that we actually are making significant improvements in the, you know, financial performance of the utility. Knock on wood, we still have 1 month of 2023 to report, and that would be for the month ending December. And just as a warning, as we all know, December was warmer than we expected, so I would expect budgeted revenue to be slightly less than collections. I'm sorry, or the other way around. Less revenue coming in than actually budgeted for the month of December. So I would expect that loss to slightly increase through the year when we complete it. But overall, you know, we're sitting in a good trajectory right now as we can really start to plan for the future. Let's hope this isn't just a blip on the radar, but we're continuing to move forward and getting to a spot of financial stability. Looking back historically, the utility hasn't had consecutive years of not negative numbers since before 2005. And yes, there were profitable years in the Leah days, but you know what we're embarking on with the help of everyone at the utility and of course the support of all of our customers is trying to stabilize the whole ship while also improving service and quality at the same time. So I appreciate the Commission's support in doing that and look forward to continuing this on for the future. So we're sitting where we are and look forward to reporting the December results by the end of January's meeting for moving forward. And I just wanted to also point out with rates that we always need to answer the rate question of how our rates stack up with neighboring utilities. And if you could move to the next slide, HPAT team. This was based on my own personal family's usage in the month of December. So we have 4 kids and a lot of Christmas lights on. So this is what we'd call a large user for the month of December for a residential. And a Hibbing Public Utilities customer with the same usage profile as my family would have spent about $170 a month for electricity. And a Minnesota Power customer would, as I did, spend $180 for that same service, and a Lake Country Power customer would pay almost $239 for that same electric service for the month. So I understand everybody gets their bills on one sheet of paper that includes electric, water, gas, steam, sewer, garbage, everything like that. But it's very important that the ratepayers know that so far we've been stabilizing increasing rates while also managing the profitability of the utility to a better spot. So we still have work to do, and it's going to require contributions of everybody. We also know that when we do that, we are going to have to also improve quality of service and support. And it is a journey, and I'm very happy for the whole team throughout the utility for accomplishing the financial reports, and special thanks to Paul for creating the numbers that allowed that chart to happen. So with that in mind, I'm happy to answer any questions on the financial report.
Thank you, Mr. Peterson. What would be the wish of the commission?
I'll make a motion to.
And I'll make a motion to support Mr. Stokes' motion to approve the November through December financials. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next item will item 2B, approve Bar Engineering Consulting Services in amount not to exceed $275,000.
Thank you, Chair Hart. I can handle this one. And as you know, we've relied on BAR for their mechanical engineering support in addition to other engineering support throughout the last couple of years of the repowering of the biomass facility at Hibbing Renewable Energy Center. Having BAR's support has allowed us to be flexible with who staffs it. As is typical, we always request the approval of a maximum not to exceed for the year, and these numbers have been included in the capital budgets for 2024. So with that in mind, I'd recommend approving Bar Engineering for continued support for the Hibbing Renewable Energy Center and other utility operations.
Thank you, Mr. Peterson.
Motion to approve the Bar Engineering agreement not to exceed 275.
Okay. Thank you. We have a motion by Commissioner Sandsted, support by Commissioner Babbage to approve the Bar Engineering Consulting Services an amount not to exceed $275,000. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all's in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next item will be under Policy and Governance, item 3A. Approve a letter of understanding for the licensing incentive program. Peterson?
Thank you, Chair Hart. As we've talked about at multiple meetings throughout the year, having a highly skilled and highly trained workforce benefits not only the utility operations, but also the ratepayer by having qualified craft personnel do the things that we need them to do. And we've also had difficulty recruiting highly skilled workforce, and so it's important that we kind of invest in our team on our recommendation to continue to incentivize our members of local 65, Council 65, to continue to invest in their own careers with the public utilities. And in line with the compensation rates put in the contract, you can see an updated per pay period rate for holding the said license listed below in the crew. So with that in mind, happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Peterson. Is there any reason we have to clarify that these should be Minnesota licenses and not like Alabama licenses?
That's a good question. Ms. Dickinson, do you want to field that one? Do we need to clarify the state in which the licensor is held? I think I understand it to be Minnesota.
I think that that's something that we certainly can clarify on
Okay.
the record to make sure that the letter of understanding and the CBA reflects the wishes of the commission.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
The active valid licensees, not.
Okay. What would the wish of the commission?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
A motion by Commissioner Babbage, support by Commissioner Stokes to approve the letter of understanding for the licensing incentive program. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Next item will be item 3B, approve job descriptions for number 1. I think we'll take them individually. First one is customer service supervisor.
Thank you, Chair Hart.
Peterson?
This first job description, as we discussed on the org chart earlier in the year or in the end of year 2023, providing that first layer of defense and support to our office staff in managing the customer relationship is very important. If you go back to COVID, as I was just answering some questions, at the beginning of that COVID period, we wouldn't have been able to get through it but for the help of a consultant that came in temporarily, and having that special handling of customers and programs to really boost that customer experience and get us through a challenge. At that point, we had $1.7 million in backlog that we've now whittled down to less than $62,000. So it's been really effective, but as we see, and as our strategic planning will indicate, as we discuss later on this evening, having that customer service supervisor in charge and at the management level to be accountable to all the customers and improving the customer experience will be very valuable. So with that in mind, I recommend approving the customer service supervisor role.
Thank you, Mr. Peterson. What will be the wish of the commission?
I'll move to approve this position's description.
Support.
Support.
Motion by Commissioner Sandsted, support by Commissioner Babbage to approve customer service supervisor. job description. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next will be the job description for manager of power supply. Mr. Peterson?
Thank you, Chair Hart. Attached to the commission packet is the updated job description for the manager of power supply. This position is currently held by Paul Plumbon, and the job description further lines out the alignment of the business of electrical generation and market manufacturing and supply along with the operations of the power plant. And so with that, the Hibbing Renewable Energy Center Maintenance and Operations Director, Dan, would continue to report to Paul, heat crew, Paul Boswell, instrumentation crew leader, Terry Garrity, as well as instrumentation controls crew leader would also report to Mr. Plumbon. So that is how the description is laid out, and the job description is written.
Thank you, Mr. Peterson. What will be the wish of the commission?
I'll make the motion to approve manager of power supply.
I'll second.
Motion by Commissioner Babbage, support by Commissioner Stokes to approve manager of power supply. Any further discussion? Manager of power supply job description. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. The next job description will be the Hibbing Renewable Energy Center Director of Maintenance Operations, Mr. Peterson.
Thank you, Chair Hart. Ahead of you is the job description for the HVAC Operations and Maintenance Director, and that is Mr. Dan Edwards, currently filling the role. And this is an updated job description to clarify that the Chief of Operations, fire line personnel, mechanics, electricians, fuel handling team, and warehouse personnel will continue to report to Mr. Edwards, as well as the updated responsibilities of overseeing all of operations and maintenance in the power plant from the management team.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Motion by Commissioner Sandsted, support by Commissioner Stokes to approve the job description for the manager of power supply. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. The last job description will be utility engineer and training. Mr. Peterson?
Thank you, Chair Hart. I wanted to mention this is another new position that we're adding to the org chart, and with this approval of the job description, I would like the commission approval to advertise for this position as well. So this would be an entry-level engineering position to assist with our existing utility engineer and helping perform all the work that we have right now. In addition to this, I wanted to also advertise for the customer services supervisor role that we approved earlier in the meeting too. So with this item, I'd like to approve the job description and advertise for the utility engineer and the customer service supervisor role.
Thank you, Mr. Peterson. What will be the wish of the commission?
I'll make a motion for the utility engineer and training.
And I'll support that. We have a motion by Commissioner Babbage, support by Chair Hart, to approve the job description for utility engineer and training. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Point of clarity, also, can I confirm that that included the ability to advertise for the position as well?
I should have said that.
Yes, okay, great, thank you.
Next item under policy and governance will be item 3C. Approve Gordon Terpstra for meter reader.
Yes, thank you, Chair Hart. We've had a opening on the meter crew that has been, was created by personnel moving over to the water crew. And Gordon has been the temp who's been filling that position, done incredibly well. We look forward to his continued service at HPU, and I'd recommend that we hire him for full-time employment retroactive to yesterday, January 8th.
Thank you, Mr. Peterson.
Mr. Chair? Can I ask a question about this position? Is this a position that there could be an internal candidate for? And if so, did we have any internal applicants?
Yes, this is a position that people who have currently are employed by the public utilities have the ability to apply for as well. And we did have one internal applicant who is still on probation that hasn't made it out of probation yet. And so with that in mind, we are offering this to the temporary employee who's been doing the job currently and doing it very well. And look forward to probation ending for that other personnel before moving forward on any changes.
Thank you.
Be the wish of the commission.
I'll make a motion.
I'll support that. Motion by Commissioner Stokes, support by Chair Hart to approve Gordon Terpstra for the meter reader position. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. That was one more. Item 3D, approve John Petron for coal and ash fuel handler. Mr. Peterson?
Thank you, Chair Hart. We've also been able to take advantage of Petron's skills through the temp agency. He has been filling in for the role of coal and ash fuel handler that was made vacant by other moves and staffing. John has been doing remarkably well and comes highly recommended from both Mr. Edwards and Mr. Plumbaum for filling this role.
Thank you, Mr. Peterson.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Oh, second.
Motion by Commissioner Stokes, support by Commissioner Sandsted to approve John Petron for the coal and ash fuel handler position. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay. Does anybody have any new or old business under the regular session? Not? Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
This is simply to recess this meeting and go into the work session down below.
Not actually adjourn.
No, because this is continuation of the same meeting, only you're recessing to
Okay.
go downstairs for that part.
Motion to reset to the working session downstairs. Okay, thank you. We have a motion by Commissioner Sandsted, support by Commissioner Babich to reset this meeting to a working session in the room below us. Correct?
Right.
All right. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. See everybody downstairs.